Your brain is wired to crave approval, but peace begins the moment you stop performing for people who are never your audience. Let's get ready today while I tell you how to stop caring so much about what other people think and how to start finally living for you. So every week, it feels like the internet picks a new main character. It's usually a celebrity, an athlete, or even just some random girl on TikTok. And then it's everyone else deciding what they should be doing with their life. For example, Taylor Swift goes to one Chiefs game and suddenly the whole world starts analyzing her behavior. Hailey Bieber posts one skincare video and then everyone's talking about her marriage. Selena Gomez would like one photo and people think that's a whole statement. Whenever I see these posts being made on TikTok or it comes on my feed, it's just like we talk about these celebrities like we know them. But what people don't realize is that we're doing the same to ourselves. You know you're growing when people start misunderstanding you. This is how I stopped caring and I finally started living for myself. And caring about what other people think isn't weakness, it's literally wiring. Your brain is designed to crave belonging. We want to belong places. We don't want to stand out. This is your amygdala saying, please don't get rejected. We're afraid of rejection. We're afraid of standing out for all the wrong reasons. But in today's world where there is constant comparisons, there's comment sections, there's highlight reels, it keeps your nervous system stuck in this survival mode that you feel like you can't escape from. Whenever we post something, we're constantly seeing who liked it, who's commenting on it, who's sharing it, who's viewing it. Every notification gives you that microdose of dopamine. When we don't get the response from other people the way that we were expecting, it feels like you failed. In fact, when I was doing some research, it said that MRI studies show that social media actually triggers the same reward pathways as addictive substances. So we're literally addicted to social media. So the goal isn't to not care. The goal is to care smarter. So it's to rewire your approval system back to yourself and not to other people. We don't want to rely on what other people think to keep moving forward with our day-to-day. For this, you want to replace validation with vision. When you don't have a clear vision, you'll find yourself just chasing validation. You'll keep chasing applause instead of alignment. And that's why it's so important to do things like journaling. It's important to have a vision board just to see what your goals are. What do you want to do in this life? And how does that align back to your overall goals? I used to think that if I just do what everyone else is doing after undergrad, after grad school, if I just do what everyone else is doing, then I'll be okay. But then I realized that even billion-dollar celebrities like Taylor Swift, you can't even control perception. And I keep bringing up Taylor Swift because I've noticed that she reinvents herself unapologetically. She doesn't care about what people think of the old her. She always comes back as a brand new persona. And this is the same mindset where I just told myself I want to go for it. I started my business. I made digital products for students who want to take action, who want to be better aligned with their goals. So if you want to check out my planners, they're all under $5. The link is in my bio and I'll also link it in this video as well. So one small thing, like for example, you have to ask yourself what would be so fulfilling if nobody knew I did it. And that's why I made a new Instagram account. I made a new TikTok account. I didn't follow anybody I knew and I just started posting what I like. And I eventually grew my following to about 4,000. And here on YouTube, I have about 300 subscribers, but I don't share this channel publicly. And I have to say it's been one of the most rewarding things I've done for myself. I really do enjoy making YouTube videos. I enjoy providing that value. So if you're watching this video, you want to start your own business, you want to start your own social media, take this as a sign to just do it for yourself. Don't share it with the people in your life because then you're going to find that you're seeking approval. And if someone doesn't support you in the same way that you thought they would, then you're going to feel rejected. So speaking of rejection, you have to learn to hold discomfort. Growth will only feel lonely because technically your old identity is dying and nobody claps for that part. Growth is the most silent journey that you can go through. It's in the building phase where you really find yourself and you're not going to get that same validation from other people. You're not going to be having all these constant wins that you're used to from before. But if you look at every successful person out there, they've all had that silent growth period where they disappear for a few years. They come back so much stronger. And from this, you might be implementing new boundaries. You might have new standards for yourself. You might start saying no to people that you previously always said yes to, and that's okay. Sometimes you really do have to choose yourself. And I've noticed that the internet kind of projects its insecurities onto whoever is trending at the moment. And if you think about it, anyone who blows up on TikTok, once they reach that level, people always switch it up. And back to Taylor Swift, when she started dating a football player, everyone called her a distraction and people will literally start booing when they saw her in the stand. This becomes such a common thing in sports sports where when a player underperforms, people blame the girlfriend, and it becomes a double standard where we punish women for existing loudly. You really can't control any narratives that are built from someone else's unhealed parts, to be honest with you. Your job is to stay grounded, stay on the same path, wake up every single day, and think about what your long-term goals are. So if your long-term goal is to get a new job, think about your 1 month plan, your 1 week plan, your day-to-day plan. So how many jobs would you have to apply to daily? How many people would you have to reach out to for coffee chat? You have to think about it that way, and you can't just think about all the jobs that you're getting rejected from, because at the end of the day, you just need one job. You don't need multiple jobs. You just need one job at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter how many rejections it took you to get there, because everybody goes through this. As a new grad, I applied to over 800 jobs and had a little over 20 interviews before I landed my first full-time role. And I felt like it was the most isolating process ever because nobody really talks about it. You think that you graduate, like I did my master's, you think you graduate with your master's and you just have a full-time offer waiting, but that's rarely the case. And in my case, I graduated during such a bad time. The economy was not doing so well. It was really hard. A lot of companies were just doing layoffs, and because I'm in the biotech pharma industry, it's really hard to get an entry-level position, because even though I had my master's, I didn't have the relevant work experience to get to my dream roles. And I found it really hard during this time because people would always ask me, so what's your plan now that you've graduated? And I would just have to be like, I'm still applying for jobs. And I remember this going on for a couple of months where I went from working multiple jobs to having no job, and all I was doing was I was spending my days just applying, networking, and reaching out to people, kind of just hoping for my start. And I remember feeling so down about myself when someone would ask me what I was doing for work, and I just didn't have an answer to that at that point because I hadn't gotten an offer. Or I feel like we also just tie our identities to what we do for a living. But just learning to hold that discomfort, you discover so much about yourself. I wouldn't have started a YouTube channel if it weren't for that period where I wasn't working, and I definitely wouldn't have thought of starting my digital planning business if it wasn't for that period as well, because when I'm working a 9 to 5, I don't really have time to think about all these side hobbies and passions that I want to pursue. So when I had that downtime, I was really able to learn video editing. I was able to learn about how to set up my Etsy shop as well. So if you're also in that period of waiting for something to happen, you're waiting for your long-term goals to come to fruition, start exploring these other interests and hobbies that you have, because you really never know what could pop off for you. And another thing is that discipline isn't about saying what you say you do. It's all about staying calm when other people don't get it. And I know this firsthand because I remember going through multiple rounds of interviews just to not get the job many times. And I remember feeling super discouraged, and the people around me were all getting offers. So I just remember thinking, okay, let me be happy for them because I know my turn is coming. And they say that the wait is longer because the blessing is bigger, and I 100% believe that. And the next shift that you need to make is building inner confidence. Confidence doesn't come from other people's comments and what they say. It's more about consistency. So if you wake up early and you tell yourself, okay, today I'm going to journal, I'm going to go to the gym, and then I'm going to make myself a healthy breakfast, and I'm not going to check my phone until the afternoon. If you find yourself doing that every single day, you'll notice that it just becomes like clockwork, where you wake up and you don't even desire to check social media first thing in the morning because you've trained yourself to be consistent with this habit. And when you do things that you promised yourself you would, it builds that confidence. Every time you do this, your brain records, okay, my opinion matters more than theirs because I know I can do everything I set my mind to. And that's pretty much how you stop caring what other people think. You have to build your internal trust to the point where the external noise kind of just drowns itself out. And again, for me, that would be starting this YouTube channel. I know I don't have a lot of subscribers, but just telling myself, okay, I'm gonna post this many videos a month, or I'm gonna start it this month, or I want to talk about my business on here, and actually doing it, I felt super empowered. Even though I didn't go viral, I don't have a lot of subscribers, my channel isn't popping off, nothing crazy is happening, to be honest, and I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, I did something that I promised myself I would, and that means way more to me than a viral video. And I always think that you don't need millions of fans, you need one fan, and it should be yourself. You need to be your biggest fan. You just need evidence that you can always show up for yourself even when it gets hard, even when you're not seeing the results right away, because it does build that inner confidence. And if you think about it, a lot of life is really just ordinary things happening on a day-to-day basis, and it's here and there that you hit some milestones, you have accomplishments that you feel are celebration worthy. So if you can go through your day-to-day just building on those skills and habits that will lead you there, trust me, you are further than most people are. A lot of people people just go throughout their entire life without doing the things that they wanted to do, and that's why so many people on their deathbeds, they just have all this regret. They'll say, I wish I started this, I wish I did this, I wish I talked to this person. By doing the things that you said you would, you're already ahead of yourself. So the next thing is just reframing. So if you think about it, most people are not thinking about you, and here's the reality that's actually based in evidence. The average person thinks about themselves, wait for it, this will actually shock you, 95% of their day. And cognitive psychologists call this the spotlight effect. We vastly overestimate how much other people pay attention to us, how much they're judging us. And if you think about it, when your coworker is questioning your dreams and goals, she's probably just insecure about her own. She probably doesn't have enough dreams or goals of her own. The people telling you to be realistic, it's because they've never dreamed big. They've never exposed themselves to failing. If someone's making fun of you for posting on social media, it's because most likely they're afraid to post their own content. And trust me, it's only cringe until you make it, because I used to think posting on social media, so on TikTok, on Instagram, I used to think it was so cringe until I got my first paid brand partnership. And then after that, I was popping videos out left and right, because you see where it can get you and you see the type of opportunities that you can get, and you just want to keep going, and you're not going to care about people from your high school or people from your hometown that might see your video and send it to each other. You really don't care about that anymore. People are constantly projecting onto whoever mirrors what they wish they could have become. The freedom that you want so badly isn't on the other side of approval, it's on the other side of indifference, and I want you to really think about that. Let them misunderstand you, let them think you're cringe. You're not meant to be decoded, you're meant to be discovered. So go out there, do whatever you want, post your content, make your social media business, make your digital planning business, whatever it is that you want to do, go do it and be proud of yourself. If you've been trying to quiet the noise and you just feel like you're always being judged, you're always worried about what other people think, just go out and do one small thing for yourself today, whether it's going to your workout class or writing in your journal, and then just the feeling of crossing that off your to-do list because you had told yourself this morning you were going to do it, you'll feel a lot better. And I find that journaling really helped me do this, because I would look down and see what I wrote, and I can tell myself, okay, like this is what's bothering me, this is what makes me feel good, this is what I need more of in my life. It gives you that self-awareness and that self-reflection that I find does not exist in other forms of self-care. And I also have journal prompts available on my Mindspace, so that's my brand. I sell my digital products on Etsy if you want to check it out. The link is in my bio. My catchphrase is make space to meet yourself before you meet the world, and I 100% stand by that, because you really have to do things for yourself in this world where we're working for other people. We want to impress the people around us, we want to make sure that our families are proud. You really have to take a look in sometimes and ask yourself, okay, am I happy? Am I doing the things that I want to do? As long as it's not hurting somebody else, you can 100% do whatever it is that you want, and you can always do it while you're working your full-time job. And I'm not telling you guys to start caring less, and I'm definitely not telling you guys to detach from what the people closest to you or the people that care about you the most think. It's more about softening the standards or the expectations that you have for yourself and just taking it one day at a time. And you'll notice that the moment you stop performing, you actually start becoming. So I want to close out this video by saying that you don't need to be understood to be respected, and I think that that's something a lot of us don't understand. We're always trying to seek validation from other people. We're always trying to stand out in a way that makes other people feel happy for us, and that's not always the case. If you think about it, you can do whatever it is that you want. You can be the most famous person in the world and still have haters. So I hope that this video helps you to stop caring so much about what other people think and to start finally living for yourself. So go out and do one thing today that you promised yourself you would, even if that's something as small as starting your own YouTube channel. I hope that this video gives you the evidence that you need to start that. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.